The way you, Papa, you know Papa.
Figuratively, he bites as hard as he can.
Okay.
And of course, when he puts his fangs into you, you certainly feel it. I think it prickles.
Watch Johnny's bite.
You know, I've watched you. Sometimes our people disagree with you, but I mean, I understand some of your approach. I mean, sometimes we take a hard bite. It helps us as politicians.
Nowadays, when I listen to you, I even panic.
Why?
Hey,
Why do you panic?
the way you, Papa, you know Papa.
Figuratively, he bites as hard as he can.
Okay.
And of course, when he puts his fangs into you, you certainly feel it. I think it prickles.
Watch Johnny's bite.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Thursday. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Let me say thank you very much indeed to all those who make time to listen to us, to watch us, to make sure that you are part of active society, to listen to the conversations that we have here, and to also make a point to contribute to the things that we say here. And we are happy to be partnering you to build our nation one more time. And I'm happy that you are a very active part of it, whether on air, online, whether you phone us, or whether you share our content, or whether you comment under it. We appreciate you. And we don't take you for granted at all. I just thought that I should let you know this morning that we appreciate you so much. You have no idea. We appreciate you. For those who share content, for those who like it, for those who comment under it, we appreciate you. Please note these numbers down. When we finish Johnny's Bite, you can always call into the show and let your voice be heard. Please take these numbers down. 055 924 2717. 055 924 2717. and 055 691 0154. 055 924 2717 and 055 691 0154. Please note them down and call after the show when we end Johnny's Bite. Today is Thursday. It's throwback. There's a letter from Gridco, a love letter. Let's read it together, and then I'll give you the background when the WAPCO official had told us in the very early days when John Mahama took over as president of the Republic, what the energy situation had been when he had a crunch meeting with them. And we literally had to beg them to extend their scheduled or planned pigging exercise. But let's read it together. This is a press release dated February 5, 2025. And it's supposed to be released immediately from the ECG and Gridco. Let's read together. WAPCO begins maintenance works on West Africa gas pipeline. The Ghana Grid Company Limited, Gridco, and the Electricity Company of Ghana wish to inform the public that the West Africa Gas Pipeline Company Limited has commenced maintenance work on its gas pipeline from Nigeria to be carried out from February 5 to March 2, 2025. According to a statement issued by WAPCO, gas supply to thermal plants in Tema from Nigeria, as well as gas transportation via reverse flow from Tadi to Tema, will be curtailed to allow for cleaning of the pipeline that is pigging and the replacement of some subsea equipment. This means that thermal plants in Tema will not have gas to operate and would have to shut down. To minimize the impact on power supply in the country, stakeholders in the energy sector led by the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition have procured volumes of liquid fuel for some generating plants in Tema that have the capacity of operating to operate an alternative fuel to enable them to remain in operation during the period of the pigging. The Ghana Great Company Limited and other stakeholders are working around the clock to mitigate any potential power supply challenges that might arise from the shutdown. We thank all stakeholders in the energy sector and the public for your cooperation. Issued jointly by Corporate Communications Section, GREATCO, no name, Corporate Communications Directorate, ECG, no name. And you know, usually when people don't put their names there, you know, I've told you many times before. Now, let's find the WAPCO officials video. It's a white lady was speaking to President Mahama in that crunch meeting at his office in the very early days. As soon as he was sworn in, the next day he went in there. Wahala day. Play the video. Let's listen to the lady. And I want this to be in context so that somebody doesn't come to say, oh, our light will go off, our light doesn't. No. The government has assured us that the light will not go off. But I want to give you a contextual understanding of what the situation has been so that we are all on the same page. Mind you, when we came in, the sector minister, who then was not the minister, together with the likes of Mr. Bauer and many others that had been put together to quickly look at the situation as we have it and then try and find a solution. We literally had to go and beg for this extension to happen. We literally had to go and beg for this extension to happen in this our republic called Ghana. And it tells you about leadership, because leadership is not paper talk and it's not plenty talk. Leadership is action. Watch the video. Let the video drop, please.
Gently with our vendors. Right now we are still working to get commitment, but there is a possibility of a slight deferral. It won't be the full month, but we're looking at up to potentially 2 weeks deferral in the start of the operation.
Okay, so are you trying to say that we can defer it from January 20th to say February?
I believe it would be 3rd February.
3rd February.
We'll need a firm. It's okay.
We're continuing to work with our vendors today to see if we can make those commitments firm. But that is our target right now, is to look for as much possible deferral.
Will it be possible to defer it to, say, ending of February?
Unfortunately, I don't believe that is possible based on our current conversations with our vendors. We have a number of vendors that are already under contract and in mobilization as we speak.
So they gave us 2 weeks, and here we are. So I've just placed it in context so we understand. And you could see the chief of staff there, Mr. Julius Debra, in that meeting, a very crunch meeting. As soon as power changed, all of them came talking about the real problem as there was. In the past, you wouldn't see such meetings. And it will take me to the Volta region. Today's throwback. I'll play some throwback videos for you, but let's do some current stuff. I'll go to the Volta region. There's water shortage there, we know. Havre and all those other places, we know. People are profiteering off the situation. Yesterday, we were told that a green tanker came around supplying water to 66 artillery, to prisons, and to other institutions that are of essence. The people in the Volta region need water to drink. And I don't want to talk about the problem now on the coast, because we paid lip service so many times to the plight of the people in the Volta region about their sea defense wall. We paid lip service. I remember so well. Asenso Boachi was the minister then. In fact, when the tidal wave hit Amuchinu, Agaveji, all those places, we paid lip service to it. The last time I was watching a very gory video of how the sea had come to wash out dead bodies, corpses. Sorry if you're having breakfast. And the people have to go back and dig and rebury the people. How undignified. And this sea defense war conversation has been there since 19 Kojo. So disaster strikes, We talk about it and we leave it, like we've done to the people around the Kaswa Bunuburam area. Somebody recklessly blasts stones, and people's homes, their polytanks, their rooms, everywhere is messed up, and we go and give them a pittance that can't even take care of them. Same with Apiati. You go to the Mepe and all those areas, Central Town, North Town, South Town, you go to those places, the VRA thing, and you ask yourself, so can't we as a country for once touch a problem and fix it completely? The effects of Galamsey and the bad practices that we treat our water systems with, the intake points. The Ghana Water Company has had cause to warn us and warn us and warn us so many times. Under Engineer Clifford Brahma, we were warned. Adam Mutawakilo, the great one, has come. We will be warned, but we won't listen. Play the video of the young lady telling us what their situation is.
People have put it upon themselves to make an excess profit out of this water problem that we are facing. For instance, a bucket of water those days was sold at 20 pesos, but currently they are selling it at 60 pesos. So we are really suffering. So if anything that the government can do to help us solve our water problem as early as possible, we will appreciate it.
The situation is biting so hard. We struggle to get water to use in the morning before we go to work, before children go to school. It takes a lot of time to get some water. And my household, we struggle to the extent that my 8-year-old child will also have to carry gallons to the borehole side to go and fetch water, and the queues are so long.
People have put it upon themselves to make an excess profit out of this water problem that we are facing. For instance, a bucket of water those days was sold at 20 pesos, but currently they are selling it at 60 pesos. So we are really suffering. So if anything that the government can do to help us solve our water problem as early as possible.
So, government, they're calling on to you. And you hear the plight of the people. They are also Ghanaians, though. The people of the Volta region, they are also Ghanaians. And we know about the conversations surrounding cholera and other diseases. They are calling. This problem did not start today. This problem has been there. We just ignored the people. That's all. This problem that they're talking about, the shortage of water, the drought, we know it's been there. We, as a country, as a people, and as a leadership, as a government, just ignored the people. Now it has gone from bad to worse. So they are crying. The problem was there. People are still sleeping outside in tents because we did some spillage. Oh, yes. We don't care about our people. We only speak English to them. And then in Parliament, you find people make reckless statements saying that the daughter of a murderer sits down. Parliament must find whoever that individual is and bring that individual to book. Play that video for me.
Daughter of murderer, sit down. Daughter of murderer, sit down. It's me. That's evidence.
Whoever made that reckless comment must be brought to the center and punished. And I don't know what is keeping Parliament from setting up the Privileges Committee. I don't know what is keeping Parliament, because when Parliament wanted to set up the Appointment Committee to look at, the nominees from the Jubilee House, it didn't take so much and so long. They did it. When Parliament wanted to do a committee of selection, it didn't take so much to do it. What is preventing Parliament from constituting the Privileges Committee so that people who make such statements can be brought before the Privileges Committee? The leader on the side of the minority has apologized for how he treated the clerk, apologized to the family, etc. But it's gone. The pain will live with them. It's a gentleman's thing to do, to know that you are wrong, to apologize. So Kwamina did good by apologizing, but the pain is there. The pain is there. Let our leaders not hide under the cover of Parliament to be doing things. That statement that was made, find that video for me again. Doctor of Medra sit down. And he says there's evidence that the father killed. Was that person in this country when President Kufuor in 2001 put the Venerable Justice Amoah Sechi and her ladyship Henrietta Mensah Bonsu and Kenna Tefua and Mulvi Wahab and General Esking and the rest, put them together for the National Reconciliation Commission? Was he in this country? Or maybe he was still in Pampers? Was he in this country when Jerry Rawlings appeared before that commission? Was he in this country? Did he listen to the testimony? Maybe you should go back and listen to the testimony. Listen to that of Captain Kojo Chikata. Go back to the tapes. If you don't have them, I can supply them. If you can't find them, go to GBC, go to National Archives. Go and listen to the tapes. You cannot be in Parliament and be making reckless comments. I say President Kufuor came. He saw that people were in pain and people were lamenting. He put together this honorable assemblage of very, very eminent and prominent Ghanaians. It was telecast live in this country. People appeared with their stories. People told their stories. People wept. People, in fact, they were even asked to be compensated. That compensation, I don't know. The last time I spoke with the children of the former army commander, I've forgotten his name, General Dante Wellington. They had not been paid their monies. I did that interview on TV3 New Day then. But that conversation happened. So if a member of Parliament, and Parliament, you not tell us that they cannot find the individual, because it will be one too many. Soldiers came into the chamber. There was a colonel at the time who led them into the chamber. They were very, very rough in the chamber. Anything could have happened given our historical past in the chamber. Up to date, nobody has been brought to book. Kandapa, Minister of Security, National Security at the time, said, I don't know anything about it. Dominic Dicty, Minister of Defense at the time, said, I don't know anything about it. Minister of Interior, Bruce Derrida at the time, said, I don't know anything about it. So who knew anything about it? Who knew something about it? And Parliament has cameras all over. Play the video again.
Let us go. Daughter of Medra, sit down. Daughter of Medra, sit down. It's me. That's evidence. Daughter of Papa Kunipa. Daughter of Papa Kunipa. Daughter of Medra. Daughter of Medra, sit down. Daughter of Medra, sit down.
So you see, Alexander Afenyo Marking MP for Futu and minority leader turned to ask him to keep quiet. Then he turned to the former Western Regional Minister and asked him, Charlie, expecting a senior to rein in whoever was behind. They cannot tell us that they do not know who said that. They know. And they must bring the person out. So the person comes to tell us who and who were killed and give us the evidence that he says he has. Today is Thursday. We are throwing back. Play another video for me. Of your choice.
Thank you very much. You have specifically mentioned corruption within the taxation system. What exactly will you do to stamp this out?
The measures are going to be difficult, but there have to be a variety of them, including what I call the ANAS principle, setting up highly motivated professional groups of young people who will work, if you like, as it were, undercover to unearth examples of corruption wherever they can find it, and thereby allow the authority to deal with the issue. Because not only do you unearth the corruption, but you actually deal with it in terms of sending people to court, prosecuting them. Hopefully the courts will cooperate and make sure that the offenders are found guilty and sanctions appropriately enforced. So a variety of measures, but a key one is the ANAS principle, as well as, of course, what you do to securize those who are in the tax collecting agents.
The ANAS principle do we still believe in it as a country? Did we ever believe in the Anas principle as a country? I don't know. I'm just asking. The Anas principle. And you see in this video, very interesting. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo went on to become president. Kojo Nkrumah went on to become a minister of state. And now Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, who was sitting with Kojo Nkrumah and asking all the tough questions, is now our first female vice president. So some people were asking, oh, where did Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman suddenly come from? She's only taught at the university. This was I think in 2012, when she was asking critical questions at the table. Nobody questioned her intellectual capacity. Nobody did. Nobody did. Suddenly, she becomes vice president and people are beginning to question her intellectual capacity. It will take me to what Yaron Sako said. There's a gentleman in the venerable Yaron Sako. And we have very wise people in this country. Yaron Sako is one of the wisest people we have in this country. He spoke at an assemblage of professionals. And he tasked the professionals on what they need to do to fix the problems of this country. Listen to him.
My resolute view. There are many examples of working systems across the world, which we should look at and borrow. Rwanda, Singapore, and China come readily to mind as countries with strong public sectors. Chuku Norris. Mr. Chairman, I must now begin to wrap up. Time has run out. This event has been brought about by the agency of an amalgam of professional groups. It is only fitting, therefore, that I make very brief comments about what they too can do to speed up our approach to development. I will use one case study only to illustrate my point, and I return to the issue of floods. Every year, like clockwork, there are floods in Accra. People die. The media reports it. Insurance companies pay out claims for damage. Businesses are disrupted. Society plunges into turmoil. And then the beat goes on as soon as the rains stop. Every year, as soon as the rains are gone, we forget about their danger. What kind of people are we? Do our professionals of the built environment, architects, quantity surveyors, engineers, etc., have an implementable point of view on what should be done? What about the finance people? Banks suddenly have clients that cannot service loans because floods disrupt their clients' businesses. The public health dimension of the matter keeps health professionals busy. Lawyers must get involved in settling disputes caused by the floods. Priests are called on to pray so that the rain goes away. After all, they pray for stability of the city. What else can they not do? How can we live with this? What is the point of view of the professionals about this development tragedy? Nothing. We are all partly guilty for our retardation as a country. Professor Donald Shawn was right when he said, and I quote, "So long as a practitioner chooses to play an intermediary role, he cannot avoid the conflicts inherent in the role." With characteristic vigor and unapologetically, even before I was born, Professor Noam Chomsky thundered this declaration, and I quote, "It is the responsibility of intellectuals to speak the truth and to expose lies." End of quote. He could not have been clearer than that. Have we lived up to that as intellectuals and professionals?
He's asking a very simple question. Have we lived up to that as professionals? You say you are the professional. You are the technocrat. You have gone to school. You have the knowledge. You have the intellectual capacity. You have the experience. You have the expertise. How have you used this to help us? And I was so happy when President Mahama put Professor Nimwe Thompson back at the NDPC. Our 40-year development plan that we put together was led by him and many other intellectuals, wise people in this country. When he finished, they handed it over and resigned en bloc. The government that took over says it is too big. Let's break it down into 10-year cycles. We have had 8 years. What did we do with that 40-year development plan? Professor Nimwe Thompson is a very, very, very sharp intellectual. If you read the 40-year development plan, you will applaud. You will ask yourself whether these people are Ghanaians and they live in Ghana with us and they are here with us. But they put a plan together and it takes somebody to implement, and the people cannot implement. Listen to businessman McDan. Listen to businessman McDan. I want you to listen to him. He said something. That sometimes their business people, they meet some of the people who are at the helm of affairs. And I want the people who have been freshly appointed to listen carefully. They meet them and they cannot understand what they are talking about. Listen.
In this country, we have to be very serious in this country. We can help government. We have to help government. This is our country. We don't have any other country to run to. All my investments is in Ghana. And what do I do? Where do I run to? We have to put all our resources in here. I can tell you that we're living in a country when government, the politicians, will sit down and will drive policies for the private sector who understand business. I've had many occasions where I've walked into a minister, whatever I explain, he doesn't understand. And he will never understand. And this is the guy taking decision for me. I've been in private business for over 30 years. And I'm telling you that this will work not for me in my selfish interest. But think about it. The politicians who are not even built or employ 3 people in his whole life will sit and enact, come out with a policy for me who is paying over 7,000 people. Our job is to, our business as entrepreneur is to create job. Government business is to aid us to create a job for them. So, if you cross, Ghana, we are doing well. My only problem is at time the politics, we have to be very serious.
So this is business magnate McDan. You may have your issues with him, but on this occasion, what he said, think about it. Connect it to what the great Yain Sako said. Now I want to show you how the effect of professionals not helping us as a people and helping our indigenous people. Listen to Dr.
Finally, I'll just show you one thing here. This is dated July 26, 2018. As I said, I have many of these documents, and they are not just in Ghana. We have put them everywhere. There are many more. There are many more. This one is as a result of this memorandum submitted by the Minister of Finance at that time, Mr. Kenneth Kununku Oforiatta, to ask Cabinet to agree for GN Bank to be collapsed, for its license to be taken. I have read this memorandum. This memorandum doesn't consider that it was the biggest bank with the widest distribution network in Ghana. It didn't consider that we were providing monies that was banking services that was increasing financial inclusion in Ghana. It didn't recognize that we were supporting financial development, economic development in Ghana. Didn't recognize all of those things. It just said, these people, they are causing us problems. And therefore, it might affect our political chances, so let's shut it down. What led to the liquidity crisis? He refused to pay us. He paid others. He refused to pay our contractors. And they thought that maybe if they paid the money would come to me. And I've been telling people everywhere, that money, it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to customers. I've even said before, in writing to Jubilee House, that if you don't want to pay me, let's sit down and agree who is owed and pay them directly. Pay them directly. What is left, you give to us. Why wouldn't they mind us? Why would they even don't want to talk to me? Why? Why? And this thing, look, after Mr. Oforiatta sent his memorandum to Cabinet, you know, that according to what I'm holding here, Cabinet did not agree that they should collapse GN Bank. Let me read to you what Cabinet said.
The best in the morning.
It says Cabinet at its 36th meeting, held on Thursday, 19th July 2018, considered a report of the Cabinet Committee on Economic Matters on the above memorandum submitted by the Minister for Finance. The memorandum requested Cabinet to consider and approve the revocation of the license of GN Bank as it was found to be in distress and unable to meet the new minimum capital requirement. However, Cabinet resolved that the Minister of Finance and Bank of Ghana should continue to engage the shareholders and management of the bank on the way forward so as to ensure confidence in the ongoing banking sector reforms in the country. I would be grateful if you could take action on the decision by Cabinet. And this was sent.
This is an example, right? What did the professionals do? I'll show you yet another example. Listen.
So I don't clean up. So I don't have my money to support such a wonderful book. And if I tell how much that I saved for over 30 years to take care of my position now, you weep for me. I have one of the best pharmaceutical manufacturing companies, WHO standard in Tema. But because my money has been locked up and they cannot give it to me, I'm having problems with my overheads. I'm telling you, either GRA is on your neck or electricity company has come to put off your light or bro, clean up. So I don't have my money to support such a wonderful book. And if I tell how much that I saved for over 30 years to take care of my position now, you weep for me. I have one of the best pharmaceutical manufacturing companies, WHO standard in Tema. But because my money has been locked up and they cannot give it to me, I'm having problems with my overheads. I'm telling you, either GRA is on your neck or electricity company has come to put off your light or...
May he rest in peace. I've just showed you. You see what the great Yain Sako was talking about? I've just connected it for you. We have the professionals in this country. How have we allowed the professionals to function? And I'm just playing this so the new appointees will have a consideration and understanding of what the sentiments of Ghanaians are. Business community, people on the ground. I've played all manner of videos for you. Listen to our OSP.
There is doom looming ahead of us. That very soon, a murderer will boldly walk to court to seek an injunction. Should I feel frustrated and resign? I took an oath
On 3FM, the best in the morning.
when I was sworn in. And in my life, when I take on the reins to do something, I do it to the best of my ability. Those who do not understand P, please forgive me. They say I'm a Ankwanoma. Me de me cry abo afore. Me hear de me to me.
It is painful. If you are supposed to be at a table and meetings are held at the table, but you are not invited to the table. It is painful. Imagine that OSB is part of national security, but national security meetings are held and is not part of it. It is painful. Do we allow our professionals to work? And how do our professionals work? Now, on my Galamsey campaign today, the President of the Republic, that's the last video. The President of the Republic has said something. And I don't need the President to be talking. We need the President to be acting. Well, he's given a directive. His minister has spoken. But what we need now, because this morning, Galamsey is ongoing. By the high and mighty, the low and bubbly, we know. What we need now is a state of emergency because the president that went or is gone failed to take any action. It was just lip service. Galam stop, Galam this, Galam that, hot one, hot two, Galam this, blah, blah. We threw money at it, billions of cedis. We did nothing to solve the problem. And I always say, not to inflict the pain on the family of the late Major Maxwell Mahama, but he died for nothing. May he rest in peace. And condolences to he died for nothing. They led him to the slaughterhouse. Listen to the current president of the republic. Listen to him.
No. My brothers and sisters, The whole country is appalled at the extensive environmental degradation that has been caused by illegal small-scale mining, popularly known as Galamsey. Your own son, Ama Kofi-Boa, is formulating strategies for the implementation of our manifesto promise for dealing with this Galamsey menace. Our plan will involve the communities, including the chiefs and the youth, to take part in protecting their lands and forests and water bodies. We're not going to make it the responsibility of only the security agencies. We're going to involve the chiefs and the young people in the communities to help to protect your own lands, your forests, and your water bodies. We'll take urgent steps to halt mining activities in our forest reserves and on our rivers. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm grateful to note that the recent cholera outbreak is abating, but I urge you, our fellow citizens, to continue to take protective action by making sure that your sources of drinking water are safe and that you take the necessary steps to avoid being attacked by cholera.
The President of the Republic there. What we need is a state of emergency, Mr. President. Good morning. Please call me 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. Good morning.
Hello. Good